is going on, wrestling fans? Welcome back to another edition of the It's Running Podcast, episode number 83. My lord.
So much to talk about. But is
our guest
backstage, by the way, Rob?
Was that?
Is our guest backstage?
No, not yet.
Okay. Can't introduce them yet until they do show up.
But overall, so for those who are on, yes, we are also live on IG, and also for those who are on Twitter as well. Yes, shout out to Ross too for all as.
I saw it first, and I shot a brick and texted you about it. So.
Oh yeah. Like I said, we'll talk about the we'll do like the result recaps.
Right.
My apologies.
Damn, Rob.
Got the good old cherry cola, as well. But yeah, shout out to everyone that's coming in, or for those who are just coming to the IG live. You can check our all social medias linked in the description down below. Check out our sponsors. But before we get into it, I completely forgot about all the stuff we got to. So make sure you guys check that as well.
Right.
And also too, merch. For those who are wondering, yes, to get merch, that is linked down below. At the same time, August 28th. You guys want to check the merch store that's linked down below. The merch shop, we're going to have 20% off of everything until this. Oh, and speaking of which, and Tyler, here we go.
We have our good buddy here. Met through Twitter. She's also the one of the hosts for the Pretty Undisturbed podcast. So go check it out. My girl Canary, how you doing?
I'm doing a lot better after the past couple of days. Doing a lot better.
That's good. So yeah, let's get right into it. The first topic we'd like to discuss, and this is more of a rant for me because oh my gosh, Saraya, you messed up. Saraya, you messed the hell up. Oh my god. Not gonna lie. You're really gonna use transphobia to fuel heel heat, Saraya? To fuel heel heat? Come on. It's
not where I was expecting that to go.
But
I'm not surprised because it's her.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised even in the slightest.
No. Oh my god.
She continues to disappoint.
Using it as heel heat? Come on. Oh my god. It's oh my, I had no words. No freaking words on it. I'm that angry. But can't be that's expected from her. She does support somebody who is a transphobe, so
Let's say, isn't her boyfriend one?
Yep.
At the risk of getting a defamation case against myself. Might as well go balls to the wall at this point.
Yep.
I've teetered the line several times, so.
Right.
Oh shit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't really say much on that other than a big F you. Because good lord. But yeah, I'm not.
That's all anybody can ever say at this point is just fuck her, bro. Like, you want to be a transphobe, fuck you.
And apparently there's some talks to have her career end at WWE. No one, and I mean with probably like a select few people that I see support Saraya, which is a very specific demographic of people, which I've noticed.
Right.
She's not going to be welcomed back very warmly.
Absolutely.
If she does come back to the WWE, because she ran her mouth about it for so long, and now she's actively speaking out against political issues now. So she's not gonna it's not gonna resonate well with
Absolutely
the
not.
WWE universe, with the exception of maybe a few people.
Yeah.
And same with like Logan Paul. I think so much more should have happened to him other than just losing a belt when he spoke out against a political issue. And all they did was make him lose the belt. And we've seen superstars get fired for speaking out against a hell of a lot less, or have been barred from speaking out, like Sami Zayn, or that was fired speaking out about unions, which was Selena Vega a couple years ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So it's like if you want to get over with people, you just got to keep politics out of it. But people don't keep politics out of it. They think it furthers the point, but it doesn't. It just makes people hate you more.
Exactly.
You ain't wrong with that one. And to piggyback off that, Canary, because this is not the first time that a WWE superstar has talked about a union. Because remember, Jesse Ventura talked about that. This is years ago.
This was when Jesse Ventura got fired by Vince McMahon, because Jesse Ventura wanted a union, and Hulk Hogan, being Hulk Hogan, didn't want it. So of course Vince sided with Hogan and fired Ventura, and he had that hatred for him. He didn't come back until 1999. That shows something. And he got fired, I think, like late 80s, early 90s.
Something around there.
So it took you that long to rekindle the relationship. And I wonder why. Because he spoke out about having a union, and you didn't like it because Hulk Hogan didn't want it. Like, come on.
I mean, look, to me, I would not be opposed if pro wrestling does eventually get unionized, because let's be real, like these men and women are their own stunt people.
Yeah, they're their own stunt people, and also with these companies not having health insurance for these wrestlers, give them freaking health insurance, for crying out loud. They're over here putting their bodies on the line for us.
You got health insurance?
No.
They don't. Shockingly enough, they got to pay for their own health insurance.
And unfortunately, we had one interview. Turns out we had to scrub it for obvious reasons.
Yep. Had to scrub the interview because we found out the guy that we interviewed, and it pained us too, because he was a famed wrestler. So I was like, you have to ask that because he's a transphobe. So I was like, yep, that's off the channel.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And he did talk about that. One of the wrestlers in particular, Sabu, was, well, not saying notorious, but in order way to save a lot of money, was super glue his shit. Like all the wounds that he suffered.
Yeah.
Was super glue.
Just because he didn't have health insurance.
And
the company did
that's
not pay
horrible.
for it. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And it's still a prevalent issue in today's wrestling, is that these wrestlers don't have health insurance. Even WWE wrestlers don't have health insurance. It's like, pay for health insurance.
I'm sorry, what? WWE doesn't even have insurance for them?
I don't think they do. I really don't.
Well,
but if they don't, like come on. Pay for the health insurance.
You guys are a multi-billion-dollar company. You guys can spring for some good insurance especially for your Roman Reigns, your Cody Rhodes, your Baileys, your top of the line superstars. You can give them good health insurance. And you'd be surprised, WWE, how many people stay when they have good health insurance.
Well, and speaking of that too, like you talk about health insurance, I don't know if you ever saw that Hell in a Cell match when Cody came back in his second match back, when it's just
when he took off
his
gear and you saw his whole chest was
black. The fact that people said that you can fake
that, that's torn pectoral muscle. You can't fake that.
No, you legitimately.
It hurt me to watch that.
If you guys go back and watch our Hell in a Cell stream, and you get to that moment, all of us at the same time just cringed seeing that. It was so bad, so bad.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing, dude. Not just health insurance too. Like, you know, the WWE superstars had to pay for their own expenses. They got to rent car. You know, they had to pay for their own flights out of pocket.
But
you better hope you're not broke when you go into that company. You better hope, pray to God, you're not broke. Yeah. You better hope, pray to God, you were smart with your money, you saved, because no, I'm sorry. Like, I know it's everyone's dream to work for that company, but I just keep hearing horror stories about, you know, the way people are treated, or like the way that they do things, or what they have and they don't have.
Yep.
Even a retail company has health insurance. You mean to tell me a multi-billion-dollar entertainment company isn't going to spring for insurance for their entertainers? Like, I get bottom of the barrel part-timers, jobbers. I get them not having health insurance, but it would almost be the same thing as if you were going up in the corporate ladder, in a sense. Like, you have those part-timers that don't get insurance, and then you have those full-timers that are there 40, 60, 80 hours a week that do get that health insurance. Like, come on now. Even McDonald's has health insurance, WWE.
Yeah,
come on.
But speaking of which, actually, that shout out to Steven, because
we were going to mention that. We were going to mention that too with
Dory Funk Jr.
Dory Funk, you're 83 years old and you're doing death matches.
And the fact, and shout out to Ghoulie, who is actually in the chat right now, actually told me that the dude came out taking like a champ after taking an exploding baseball bat.
An exploding baseball bat? You're 83, bro. Sir, you're 83 years old, and you're taking an exploding baseball bat.
There comes a time when you just got to just pack it up and just sit down. And 83 is that age.
Exactly. You got to sit down and chill, man. Jesus.
I mean, shoot. Ghoulie says it best. It's the ghost of Terry Funk. I think the hardcore wrestlers that like the Funks, Mick Foley for the longest time. Good Lord. I mean, credit to all the shit he had to go through.
Bro,
put his body through for a flaming table off the Hell in a Cell.
Mick Foley is just bad shit crazy. He lost an ear. He lost a tooth. It's like, my God.
The dude got tossed off Hell in a Cell, went through a flaming table, I think at oh God.
Yeah, that was him against Edge. It was I think it was like 05. It was like WrestleMania 21 or 22. Where he took a flaming table spot.
Yeah, John, that's the problems. Like, some of these guys in their mid to high 70s just won't sit down.
And the funny and the thing is, though, the one moment that was like, all right, pack it in, Ric Flair, was the fact that he ended up having his pacemaker turn off on him mid-match. I'm like,
okay, if you need a pacemaker, I'm going to stop you right there. If you need a pacemaker, you should not be allowed to step in that ring ever again. Ever.
Exactly.
You should not be able to step into that ring, because if you get hit too hard, even just too hard in the chest, that pacemaker is going to shut off. And then boom.
Well, as Stone Cold
might shut off as well.
Yep.
I think it's too canary. As Stone Cold once said, "Don't blow your pacemaker, kid."
He blew his pacemaker, kid.
Yeah, Ghoulie, you said it best. Like, he wants to die in the damn ring. That's
all he does.
Okay, well, I see the second one happening more so than the first one. I see the second one happening for Ric Flair more so than the first one. Just because men go out that way a lot.
Yeah, that's
you have to take too much of the Viagra thing, and then either overdose or they have a heart attack and die.
More like too much vitamin P.
Vitamin P.
And you can quote me on that.
Hey, wait,
Rob, clip that shit. That shit.
So I don't have this in my notes, but we did. This still feels unfucking real. Yesterday marks 1 year since we lost Bray Wyatt. Like, what in the God's name? Like, why? God, why?
That was
why'd you
so
have to take
sad.
this
I
news?
will never forget that. Like when I found
It's
out about it, I was at work. So
Right.
I was at my old job at the time and I was working and I got a text from my friend Jay and he's like, guess what? And I'm like, me thinking it was gonna be some like stupid dumbass shit. I was like, what? And he goes, Bray Wyatt died. And I was like, that's not funny. Like I thought it was a joke at first. And then he's like, I'm not kidding. And I went and Googled it and like my heart absolutely broke at that point in time because I was like, that's my favorite wrestler. Like,
Right.
how could that happen? Like, this was just like out of a blink of an eye. Like, it was absolutely insane. It was crazy.
Right.
And I
It
still
is.
can't believe it to this day.
Yeah.
And
I
and
remember
for me,
I remember where I was when this happened too. Like for me, it was kind of like the Kobe Bryant situation. It was kind of like the same thing I was doing when Kobe died.
Was working then too.
And I found out through like Google, and I'm like, yeah, I see TMZ report it, and then I see other sites report it. I'm like, I don't believe it's true. I'm in denial. And then I'm getting text messages. Oh, Bray Wyatt died. Bray Wyatt died. I'm like, yo, didn't that denial just turn into like sadness and then
It wasn't until I got a text message from like my other really close friend
right.
that it really hit in and it's hit me. And at that point in time, I had gotten really like sick to my stomach and it was like almost like an outer body experience. Cause I remember my roommate at the time, he looked at me and he was like, are you okay? Like you were talking and then all of a sudden you just went like mute. Like you literally just stopped talking mid sentence. Like, are you okay? And I was like, it just hit me that my favorite wrestler is actually gone. Like he's not here anymore. Like this isn't a storyline. This isn't like some made up story. This isn't K-fob. This is real. Like he's gone and he's not coming back. And I remember just kind of like almost falling to my knees at that point because I was like, this can't be true. Like I just seen him at like we'd just seen him. Like this can't be real. Like this can't be true. And then like I just remember my roommate looking at me. He's like, I'll never really understand how you feel about wrestlers, passing away or dying because I don't view them the same way that you do. So, whereas I just see this as a regular person that passed away, you see it as that was like your hero, that was someone you looked up to. So, it's very different for you. I was like, he was one of those people that made you feel heard and seen, even if you didn't know him. Like, he made you feel like seen and he made you feel looked at, and he could be all the way across the United States, but he still connected with his fans in that specific way, and that was one of the reasons why I will always love him. And still to this day, it just does not feel real to me. Even when I shoot like my Wyatt 6 videos and I do all of that, like it feels like an outer body experience because there are times when I'm sitting there and I'm recording and I'm talking and I'll get so into it. And then it like hits me. I'm like, oh, wait, he's not coming back. Like this is just his brother. Like he's not he's not there at all. So for me, it's like, it still takes my mind a second to be like, no, he's actually gone. It's just his legacy itself is going to continue, even though he is not here. So for me, it still takes my head a second.
Right.
And I can relate that to an extent because I know I'm about to show my age here a little bit because I remember, God, this was what, Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong. We had we're in the high 70s of this show when we found out when Scott Hall passed. I had to step away from the camera.
We were like at like episode 70 something, and we were talking about Scott Hall. I think it was like not even like I think this was literally not even like the week he died. This was maybe it was like maybe like a month after he died.
I think it was about almost up to a month.
But we were just shooting. This was literally when like around when Bray died. We were talking about Bray, and then you kind of morphed it into the Scott Hall thing, and then you just broke.
Yeah, I had literally
turn
had
off the camera
and just walk away.
And I heard you. I heard you before you walked away. You wept, like you literally wept.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, because Scott Hall is one of those guys, and kind of what Canary said with Bray. Scott was just one of those guys, like, yeah, and yes, I had the peak Scott Hall at the time. Like Tyler had the watered down version at the time. Sorry, I had to take a little sort of shot at you, but
you always do. I take it. I always take these shots from you, dude. It's all right.
But and for me, as much as that really pained the living hell out of me, my true pain really felt for Kevin Nash. I mean, this is the same guy.
Right when we talked about, like, we were talking about, damn, like, what is Kevin Nash feeling? I think this was a week after he died. Like, what?
Yeah, and then Kevin Nash puts out a statement on.
That's when you like literally kind of like started crying.
Yeah, I really couldn't hold back because Scott was one of my guys, growing up, and ever since seeing that statement from Kevin Nash, it's like, it's like, dude lost a brother, and
you were like, and I think you told me, you're like, man, it was like that thought crept in of like, you had that thought of like, what if that was me and you lost me?
In a way, yeah, because part of my childhood freaking pretty much died on that day.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I'll take it a step further too. 2005, when Eddie died, I was never the same. I'm still having not been the same since then. Almost 18 years later.
Yeah.
Or was it 19? It'll be 19 come November.
Yeah.
I still have not been the same. I mean, granted, yes, we do have the the wellness policy, I think it was.
I think we got the wellness policy after the 2007 incident. We got the wellness policy, like right after that.
Yeah, Kevin Nash had a bad string of.
He lost his best friend and his kid. Same year.
Like for me, it's like, it was just, I felt numb at that point.
Yeah.
Losing Eddie in 2005. I know a lot of kids, but Scott Hall for me, especially when I grew up, especially being someone who started watching wrestling in 1999 at 2 years old. And yes, call me crazy because like if I was for me, I think Scott was just one of those guys. It's like no matter how good of a villain he plays, he still makes, even as Razor Ramon, still makes bad guys look cool.
Yeah.
And funny enough, because I was actually, that was May 1999. I was just over 2 at the time when Owen Hart passed. So I really it sucks, to say the least.
And I'm gonna piggyback off of Canary, like to the average person, you're like, why are you crying over a random celebrity's death? But if you have an attachment to them, you'll understand. And I agree with that take. Like if you have an attachment to these wrestlers, they're basically like if you're a kid, they're raising you, and then like if you're an adult and you're watching wrestling, they're basically like a friend on TV. In that sense.
100%. And I'm kind of glad the landscape of wrestling has changed over the last 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of and part of my French here, there was a lot of shit I've seen, especially growing up. And yes, I know I dragged Tyler down into my era of Yeah.
How fun is that, getting dragged down to the damn Attitude Era?
And plus the fact that seeing, legitimate chair shots to the head, it still makes me cringe. I'm thankful.
Like I saw, dude, when we're watching Attitude Era stuff, you see freaking Boss Man get hit with a real glass pitcher to the face. Like, come on, like that stuff, I'm glad that stuff is banned in WWE because of all the head injuries and shit like that. And
Yeah, that after that 2007 incident, even though it shouldn't, I'm going to really nitpick with that. Like that should have been gone a lot sooner than what, because I think Benoit would have had. I would still think would continue wrestling had they really took
if they would
precaution.
have taken initiative and told him, look, you need to have a brain scan or whatever the hell when he was alive, like everything would have been a lot different. But
unfortunately, you really can't change the course of history, so
past,
it played out the way that it did.
Yeah.
Now, so I know, but I don't know if you have kept up a lot on some different news and whatnot. How about JBL showing up at a GCW event?
I saw that. That man truly has done everything, because this is a whole other heel turn I never expected them to even graze past. Like, especially with him, I didn't expect him to fight the gays. Let me just say that. I didn't expect that. So when I saw the clip online, it straight up took me out, because I was like, oh my God. Wow, they really they went for it in every sense of the word. They just went for it, and so did he. But I mean, I guess people are getting behind it, so I'm not mad at it. Yeah. I think that it actually fits his persona really well. The Western, okay.
That was funny.
I'm talking about Santi Zap's heel turn right now, which
that's funny.
I don't have a problem with, but I have a problem with him hitting people with chairs. Let's just say that.
the heck with that man trying to do. I
don't have a problem with who he helped. I applaud who he helped. Yes, let's help him. Let's help the man. But I don't approve of hitting other people with chairs behind their backs when you were there as a forefront for that person, and then you just say basically you and then hit them with a chair. I was not okay with that. And now I lost my train of thought. Thank you to whoever that comment was. Thank you.
That was from Byron. Shout out to Byron Cutler as well.
You just made me lose my train of thought. Thank you, Byron.
Canary, if you thought you lose your train of thought, try hanging out with me and Tyler on a weekly basis.
We go on like different tangents. We get derailed all the time.
Hey, look, it happens.
I don't even know where I was going with that before, but I don't even know where that was going anymore. But it went there. So
neither did I. I completely lost my even a single brain cell.
I'm telling you, the way our brains work, it's like me and Rob have like 15 tabs open. So it's like,
yeah. Well, and me, I have. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, too, just a little irrelevant side note. So, Canary, Tyler, tell her one day you had a soundboard of the Windows desktop when I had a blue screen where it's like, don't.
I was teasing this man one time, and I'm like, I was using a tablet once, and I'm like, you know what? Let me do something right quick. I downloaded a soundboard on my older phone. And every time his brain turns off and he loses his train of thought, I just press that button. It was like,
yeah, and that's been like the one of the running jokes, which is kind of
circus music plays up here. It's not elevator music; it's circus music. So that way I wouldn't make dumb decisions that I know I shouldn't be making. I just hear that track in my head. So like,
it really is. And Canary, before we can question, have you ever kept up with TNA at all recently?
Yes, I have.
So it's kind of funny. So actually, that was kind of another thing I want to kind of talk about with Scott D'Amore. So it's kind of crazy because me and Tyler, we kind of talked to him once before. But when Scott D'Amore got fired from TNA, it really pissed me and Tyler off. But at the same time, we kind of found Scott D'Amore kind of clarified on why he was let go. and stuff like that. And we're seeing how it is with TNA. And yes, I was one of the people I didn't buy into Joe Hendry's gimmick for the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Ugh. I can't stand that man.
Oh, another one that doesn't play.
No. Damn. But that I was saying that was not kind of like me. I couldn't really buy into the gimmick itself, but I knew the dude can wrestle. And it took 3 to 4 weeks just to finally get me to believe. As
For me, I'm just like, I don't care what. If your gimmick's funny, it's funny. I can buy into it. So I thought it was funny, but yeah, like some people, some aren't into it, some are, but that's whatever.
And that's the funny thing too. Even Hendry himself talked about it with Chris Van Vliet. Said, like he's like an acquired taste, so to speak.
Yep.
But
he's like, for me, he's that fungus that kind of just grows on you. Like it just kind of grows.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's the best way. That's the best way to put it. 100%. But yeah, it's like now. I know this is you and I barely even know each other, but let me ask you this: I know Bray Wyatt was your favorite, but who else do you have, or have you grown up with, that has become a fan favorite for you, anyways?
That I grew up watching.
Grew up, or who's your current or your fan favorite in the mod?
Rey Mysterio will always be a favorite of mine. Always, always, always. Love that man. Love him with all pieces of my heart. He's not alive anymore, but Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
He will always be my favorite. I'm really sad I never got to see him live. Very upset about that. It's one thing I still give my dad shit for. I was like, you couldn't have brought me to one of these events when I was a kid. Really? But if we're speaking in terms of alive, I have to say AJ Francis, always a favorite of mine. Will forever be a favorite of mine.
I want to give him a double Philly salute for roasting our team twice, by the way.
Seriously. But here's the thing that really angered me. He dissed my Eagles. Why would you do that, bro? Come on.
Oh,
bro.
wait, who? Oh, yeah, Christian, too. That's a big F you, too, mother.
He did it the day after we lost the LCS. I'm so mad.
Oh, God, I was so fucking salty.
Whenever I say that he's one of my favorite wrestlers, it's always met with something that he said or did. And it honestly, it makes me laugh so hard. Like, it really just makes me laugh. Because no one can make me hate him, ever. No one can make me hate him. No one can ever make me hate that man. Like, it signed, sealed, delivered, can't ever hate him. Even if I tried. I couldn't. But
yeah.
And shifting gears, my other favorite will always be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, as well as Damian and Dominic. Dominic has been growing on me a lot recently. Damian, that's Daddy Damian. He's always been on the list. He's always been there. Always, always.
The funny thing is about Dominic Mysterio, and he like explained why he got with Liv, and he's like chicken nuggets. I go, fair enough.
I mean, chicken tendies is the way to a man's heart.
You can't. That's the unwritten rule. Chicken nuggies and chicken tendies are a way to a man's heart.
Oh, well, that at the same time too. The fact that Rhea says it just wasn't Deegan on the side. One, for me, my brain took it in two ways. One, I'm thinking like someone gets like legitimately gets stabbed in the back.
That's what I was thinking of.
Number two.
I was thinking of. I rewatched it. I'm like, wait, that was a sex joke, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that kind of flew over to Tyra's head. And Tyra could attest to this too. Like, it's kind of funny since obviously for me growing up in terms of the quote unquote celebrity crushes. Now it's Rhea because good Lord, for that matter. But Canary, I kid you not, my very first celebrity crush for the women's side of things was Terry Runnels back in the late 90s.
Right.
And yeah.
Mine was my very first crush and will always be for the women will always be Melina. That woman has
Lord,
a piece of my
Lord.
heart.
Lord,
That woman has a piece of my heart.
Lord.
I love her. I love everything about her. I remember when I was a kid, I would try to do the splits behind the couch, and my dad would yell at me, and he'd tell me I'm not allowed to do that.
I
Now,
mean,
if I would have tried that, I would have ended up like Santino Morello in that one segment.
yeah, and that's kind of funny things too. As kids, like we just ignored the "don't try at home" the warning.
Oh, yeah.
We
You
did.
think I listened when they said don't try this at home, and I would
Nope.
try to swanton bomb
Nope.
my brothers and or 5-knuckle shuffle all of them, which I successfully did one time.
Oh my god!
It was a pure accident. Like I was going down to hit it, but then like I actually hit, like punched him in the forehead.
Talk about getting close.
Just this big knot on his forehead. And I remember my dad walking in the door right as I was telling my brother, okay, so you're gonna tell him this.
I somehow always got the shit out of the stick when I'm like play wrestling with my brother as a kid because he always puts me in the damn walls of Jericho, and that shit hurt. That shit hurt so much.
It really, because, and the thing is too, though, it's like even now, like we're seeing some former men and women, especially for the women that, I mean, that I thought that doesn't age or has aged gracefully. One in particular, Trish Stratus is, Trish Stratus is one of them. Mickey James for another, for crying out loud. She
still looks great.
Her husband needs to get it together.
I know.
Yeah,
like,
you ain't wrong with that one.
Get out of his bullshit, man.
Another one. I know Melina. I thought she still looks great as hell. Yeah, John L. Kelly too at 37, which is ridiculous.
Still looks awesome. Yeah.
Shelly Martinez for a lot of older to the. Yes, this is the same. I'm the same dude. Before Rhea was Ariel from the ECW 2006. Yes,
Why the fuck did I think you were talking about Ariel from The Little Mermaid? I was about to say, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah,
imagine a wrestling mermaid. That'd be funny.
Oh yeah, Candice Michelle. I know that was a lot of men's crushes back in the day. But yeah, so a little funny story on that because, like I said, Terry Rollins in terms of the Attitude Era was one of my very first crushes, I would say. But Ariel was another one from WWE ECW 2006, and Tyler can attest to this too. I sent him his text about it, and he told me, he's like, "Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Like watch."
He goes, "I'm bored. Look what I'm watching," and it's ECW 06. I'm like, why would you do that to yourself?
And this is the same brand that had Kelly's expose. And
the creepy part of that shit, the expose bullshit, was she was 19 years goddamn age.
Yeah, a lot of people. But and that's kind of funny thing too. It's like Ariel in terms of the valets. Yeah, female vampire. I can get behind that. Number two, and that's also what kind of helped me get to liking Kevin Thorne, who somehow ECW did something well with him, but apparently WWE somehow did not know to do with him with freaking Mordecai in 2004.
No, that was because that was not a good gimmick. The gimmick just did not stick, so they axed it and then they repackaged him.
Pulled up a better
and also he also got fired in that same time frame because he got into a bar fight.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised on.
But yeah.
But moving on. So Alexa Bliss on Twitter kind of was very cryptic. Dropped a return teaser. If y'all haven't seen that.
Yes.
So I'm intrigued at this point because, like, I don't know. Like,
oh yeah, I remember seeing it online. I believe it was Twitter. And I think it was like a GIF. And then she said that I can't remember what it said exactly, but I did see it. She has been very vocal about the fact that she's just been waiting for the right placement. with creative with the Wyatt Six. So that tells me that Chad and the Wyatt Six story is coming to an end, or it's towards the end of that storyline. And it's probably going to kick up with her.
Right.
As one of the females that they go after, because there's just so much unsaid history between Uncle Howdy and then Alexa Bliss just in general. Because a couple years ago when we last saw her at, I think it was the Royal Rumble, it was that video package, and he asked her if she felt like she was in control, and it was just a bunch of like snippets from when she was in what was it, the Firefly Funhouse. So, and most people don't think that that has a lot to do with the current story, but that has everything to do with it, because there's so much that still needs to be said. We don't know who's in control right now. As far as we know, it was still that power struggle. So I have a bunch of different theories of what it's going to be like when she comes back. The most black and white theory is she comes back, they basically fight her mentally, physically, emotionally, kind of like just beat her down a little bit week after week after week, like he was doing with Bray Wyatt when Uncle Howdy was first unveiled. But instead of her always fighting the control week after week, we see her kind of break down into who she really is. But we also can't forget the purpose of the Wyatt Six. It's making people remember who they are. So it just, in my opinion, it also kind of depends on what version of herself they have her come back in. Because if she's coming back as the goddess, that tells me that it's going to be one of the more fake forefront personas for her at the time being, because they're trying to get her to remember the darker half of herself, the female fiend, if you will. Because if you look at everything in that group right now, the only thing missing from that group is the fiend.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the funny thing too, because me and Tara kind of, and I kind of still kind of pains me, because I mean I like Alexa Bliss, and we kind of criticize of how the company kind of used, I would say, her remaining time before she took some time off.
I don't think it was really a criticism. It was the fact that they were trying to like build her to be, they were trying to get her to join the Wyatt Six, but then, but that was out of their control because she ended up getting pregnant, taking time off, Bray passing, so it kind of like hindered everything. So it wasn't really a criticism. It was more so like, that shit happened that was out of their control, and they had to rework the story in a way.
But Steven in the chat says he's guessing that we could potentially see Alexa return at the Royal Rumble, but I don't know if that's going to be the fit in the right time frame.
But be too long.
She's already teasing it now. We're in August.
She'd have to, in order for that timeline to make sense, she would have to tease it in like December or late November.
Yeah.
Like November, like late November, early December, and then all throughout the month of December in order for that timeline to make any sort of sense. So I'm going to disagree with that part of it. I think she debuts sooner, and I think they're keeping it under wraps because her return is one of the most anticipated returns. Because she's so attached to the Wyatt Six. And we all know that, Triple H could have texted her on the side. You'd be like, look, when you do this interview, you need to say this so it doesn't give so much away and people think that when you come back, you won't be involved in this story at all. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make them do a complete 180 for a second, make them believe you're not part of the story. But you can't have the continue of the legacy without her. Yep. Like, you can't.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. And that's the thing, too. It's like, with Triple H says, like, they try not to give away too many context clues to the point where it's like, yes, we're also living the day and age that, shit gets spoiled. for a lack of a better term, and which to me, that really does piss me off. And Tyler knows it better than anybody, like how that really annoying that really is.
Yeah, but that's because of social media. Social media, it gets spoiled all the time on social media. Oh, this person's returning, this person signed, this person this person that. It's like, can we have a surprise for once? But we can't because social media.
But
and a lot of people are saying that she's not going to be a part of it. But then if she wasn't, who is that she or that her excerpt from the journal about? Like that, it wasn't going to be about nobody, and it's not about Nikki. We know that for sure. We know that for a damn fact.
And you said it best. The only person that actually has legitimate connection outside of Eric Rowan is Alexa Bliss. And she said it, not to say try to give away too much, but I do think it does kind of make sense storyline wise, because me and Tara talked about this too, because right now we're seeing like the purpose of the Wyatt Six currently is going against obviously the Judas people who turned on their brothers or sisters, so to speak. We saw that with Chad Gable, even though let's be real, the fact it's kind of funny, he got murked on, quote unquote, murked on TV a couple times. I mean, all he had to do was goddamn run, but no, he just stood there. Like,
you could have just
gone. No, all he needed to do was not lose his humility. But what did he do? He became an asshole. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Became a dick.
But I mean, like I said, and as you said it best, it's definitely going to be the most anticipated. Because, good Lord, not gonna lie, I kind of miss her on TV. Because, shoot, it's
been quite some time, bro. It's been quite some time.
Even though I will say this too, I wish I could really forget about the one gimmick she had. The Pixie cheerleader when she first came in.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna skip and be all cheery and kiss glitter out my hand.
It was like, and also to carry to it. I don't know if everybody knew this. But this is something interesting I found too, that Alexa Bliss, before she became a pro wrestler, they had her as a ring announcer before she made the transition to become a pro wrestler.
I did hear about that.
She used to put little Post-its on the backside of her microphone so she could remember who she was introducing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
They all got to start somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you had Jessica Carr, we know how transition from pro wrestler to referee. It was kind of funny about that too. I've seen people like don't even like her. It's like, what's the wrong?
I will be a ref.
I could see that.
At best, I'd probably be a commentator. I would not touch the ring.
I'm sorry, I have way too much of a sailor's mouth to do that. Like, you'd be bleeping every other word out of my mouth. Like,
trust me, you're not going to be the only one.
I'm the same way. I'll just be a manager.
Oh yeah, I'll be tired. For me, I would be a color commentator because the way so obviously the relationship me and Tyler have, not because we've been friends for almost 15 years, but here but the funny thing is when it comes to our YouTube presence, like he and I are like Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross, like continually just banter back and forth. Well, in a sense,
Jerry the King Lawler, I'm more JR.
Oh yeah, I'm a little bit unfiltered at times.
Yeah.
But it's, I just like, for me, like I just do it for the entertainment purposes, just kind of try to bring in another sense of energy, so to speak. Try not to push too much. But yeah,
that's for
that's
a fact,
two beefy men slapping meat.
That's too many men slapping meat. You think that's gonna they're not gonna reinforce the ring.
But yeah, now get to the AEW All In, which I will say this year they actually did pretty well in terms of building up to the event and actually really booking the event for what it was. So
congratulations, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
God, it's
Bryan Danielson or whatever the fuck his name is now.
Yeah, trust me, it took me a while to get used to it because obviously Bryan Danielson is his legal government name.
It took me a good week to just stop calling him Daniel Bryan.
You're literally talking to the person that thought the government names were their stage names in WWE for the longest time. Like, I'm not kidding.
You ain't the only one. Trust me. Oh yeah, and speaking of that too, before we get to the All In, Yeah, meantime, we're never calling Edge by his real name because we know him as
I'm
Edge
still
for
calling that man
years.
Edge. I ain't calling him no Adam Copeland. I ain't
Phil.
calling him no.
That's.
I'm not calling him no Adam Copeland. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
Or call CM Punk Phil Brooks. I'm sorry, but he does not look like a Phil to me. I'm sorry, but that's a relevant side note. But with AEW All In,
Looks like the neighbor I yell at.
yeah. And I'm just going to skip because let's be real, I don't think no one would care this for the 0 hour matches, which the pre-show.
Wait. 1 0 hour thing did happen. I would like to discuss. Jamie Hayter is back.
Oh, I saw that.
She's back.
Yes, she is.
Sporting red hair. She looks phenomenal. Looks in great shape.
We love a redhead. But what happened in her life that she feels traumatized to the point where she went red?
Yeah.
That's well, I could think of one thing, Saraya taking her out of action with that from that shoulder injury could be that comes to, for me, that could really be the first thing that comes to mind at last year's All In.
Yeah, but there has to be like some other underlying thing to where she was out for a year.
I was going to say, normally they don't put someone out for a year unless there was something else underlying the actual injury itself. Normally the underlying cause is the worst cause. The injury itself is kind of like the icing on top of the cake, but whatever the previous thing was is normally what worsens the actual injury itself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. But looking at the start of because obviously AEW All In opened up with the AEW World Trios London ladder match. You had the Patriarchy with Christian Cage, Luchasaurus. Actually, they changed the name back, which is so fucking stupid. The fact that you changed it the first time to Kill Switch was not here and there. And Nick Wayne taking on the Bangman Gang, Juice Robinson, the Guns, and the Guns, and also House of Blacks, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black.
Buddy,
yes,
love that man.
For me, is Malachi Black for me because good lord, hold up. Oh God, what the hell did they call his finisher in WWE?
Black Mass. Black
Mass. Holy crap. Even though it's a path that I actually want to, because there's a few, because he's one of the few that I want to see come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, the number one is Keith Lee. Please come back. Because
not doing much with freaking Keith Lee right now. It's a crime.
Nope.
And but yeah, I mean, I know I like for me, I said I caught bits and pieces of it, but yeah, Miro, that's a whole different situation entirely. But we did. Sorry, hang on, I'm choking on some air over here. Jesus,
breathe, brother.
But obviously we did get new champs, which to me took me by surprise a little bit. I would have thought I thought it was the tag match. I could be wrong. Either way, we saw that Pac chokeslam Malachi through the ladder, propped against the corner. Next, I'm not going to read. But the House of Black are your new trios champions with Pac. Even though it's kind of crazy that I actually kind of want to see him come back.
And there I go because I lost predictions on the first match.
Oh yeah.
So I'm still not champ.
Oh yeah, too. Canary, if you've been around me entire for a long time, I'm his freaking kryptonite when it comes to picks and predictions. Like
I am a transitional champion in that freaking group. I swear, I am a transitional champion. I won that goal once.
Make a wrong prediction just to spice things up.
You know what? No one's higher. Sometimes he thinks with his heart, not his head. Just let that.
You have to think logically. Whatever the most boring answer is probably the correct one.
Tell that to him.
I try to spice shit up and it always backfires.
And it backfires. Because figuratively speaking, was this before SummerSlam? Or no, or I think it was, it was before SummerSlam. So Ghoulie and our buddy Dub came up with this idea of the Money in the Bank for our picks and predictions, which we do every Friday, depending on what the pay per view is. So it came down to me and Tyler because because it was like a 3-way tie. What was the event before SummerSlam?
It was I forgot what it was, but no, wait. It had to have been an overseas. No, it wasn't an overseas show. I don't think. But
no.
Why are we lapsing so much? Jeez, I'm forgetting pay-per-views and shit. But yeah, that pay-per-view before SummerSlam, we tied. So it was me and you for SummerSlam.
Thank you, John L. It was
Money in the Bank. It was Money in the Bank. Yeah. So he went. Yeah, it was Money in the Bank, and then we did a thing where it was like you win Money in the Bank briefcase. Of course, it was Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So we ended up tying. So we had no Money in the Bank winner at Money in the Bank.
And had to go up to SummerSlam to determine, like, me and Tyler. This is what, twice that I've knocked your rear end, you on your rear end? Because the first time I embarrassed you by going perfect at Hell in a Cell a couple of years back.
You went perfect to Hell. It was me and you. We were co-champions. We were co-champions at that point.
And that didn't last long.
And if you're new here, people, what we do for picks and predictions, it's basically a proverbial title match in a sense, where whoever wins gets to be a champion. So we were co-champions at Hell in a Cell. And at Hell in a Cell, he wipes the floor with me in predictions. I lose one match. I'm like, he goes undefeated. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Like I said, see, that's the thing too, Canary. Like, if you've been around me and Tyler long enough, like, you can tell, like, mostly because I always roast him most times and not. And yeah, he does the same thing too. Like we
sometimes you go really far with it too. I mean,
yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, like, it's like I said, it's all in good fun because it's like, it's also the combination of our podcast, the It's Drilling podcast, and obviously with Ghoulies with a Ruthless Attitude every Friday, which is actually kind of fun. But continuing with the recaps, though, we also have the AEW with like I said, House of Black, Impact, one of the trios champions to open up AEW All In. Now, our next title match we had on the show was the AEW Women's World Champion with Timeless Toni Storm taking on Declamer Mariah May. I know I got to watch that a little bit too. The fact that Mariah May slapped Toni Storm's mom that was in the crowd, if I'm not mistaken.
Dude, like, she wrenched back. And
what's with slapping mamas now?
I don't know.
Oh my god!
Like, she's over here slapping moms.
Look, all I'm gonna say is these moms are better than my mom because my mom would smack the shit out of
my
you.
mom.
Yeah,
I would have no qualms if it was a work or not. That woman would smack the absolute hell out of you. Like, you think look, the producers could come up to her and say, look, you're going to get hit. It's a work. Try not to get too upset. But knowing my mom, she would forget. And then she'd just smack the holy over living hell out of whoever smashed her.
My mom would have made a whole ass AEW debut. Wrecking her shit.
I have an African American mama. So she'll beat the hell out of you.
Oh yeah, they don't take kindly to that.
They don't take shit from nobody.
Well, I think another one that doesn't take any shit.
She'll beat the hell out of you. She'll beat you with her phone if that's the only thing that she has. She'll do it. She'll do it too.
Well, luckily you don't have a Latina mom because they'll beat you with a chancla.
I also have a Latina mom as well.
Here's my thing, Rob. I would rather take a chancla than a damn phone.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. But so also you have,
as long as you get a girl that doesn't know how to throw, you're good.
Yeah, that's true. However, though, and obviously, God, the freaking build up to this too was, I would say, insane to say the least. I mean, the finale of the Owen Hart women's final.
Yeah.
Goddamn,
that was wild.
Yeah. Jesus.
I had stopped watching AEW at that point because I was like, this is kind of boring. And I was like, and then I go on Twitter, and all of a sudden I see, Toni Storm getting her face bashed in by Mariah May, and I'm like, oh Jesus, okay.
Yeah.
This is actually really good. I love this.
And the thing is, though, she wasn't just getting her face bashed in by Mariah. She was getting stabbed by
with her own shoe.
Stabbed in the head.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
I was just like, yeah, she's going batshit crazy.
Yeah, most of that heel was covered in Tony's blood at that point.
And then she hugged her and wiped her face with her blood. I'm like, yo.
Yeah. But however, though, we do have it, and also you also have the new Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Champion, Mina Shirakawa, actually was sitting in the crowd. Obviously she's looking torn between Tony and Mariah. Good God. We don't want to go.
I did see some story progression a little bit, Rob. If you saw after the match, she kind of looked pissed that Mariah won.
Yeah, I know.
She looked pissed. She did not look happy. She didn't look conflicted either. She looked flat out pissed. She won.
But obviously Mariah May becomes your new AEW Women's World Champion. And it looks like Tony is going to have some time off.
She deserves it. Being a workhorse for as long as she has for the last couple of years, yeah, she deserves it.
Yeah, that's true. But next match we have the FTW Championship, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, the Redwood, Big Bill, and Bad Apple, Brian Keith taking on the Hook. Hi guys.
Jericho needs to retire, and my God, no one wants to see that man dance. My God.
Oh God, that would just be embarrassing.
Why
I saw a video of that man dancing while he was performing on stage. I'm not sure where he was performing, but he was performing somewhere. And I felt so bad because that man was feeling himself. He was in the groove, having the time of his life. And I'm just like, that's embarrassing. Like, why are you doing this? And put a shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that man's like, and he says something during the match. I'm like, yeah, that's a lie, dude. You do not look buff. You look fat.
He's got a dad bod.
You got dad bod now.
It's giving dad bod, but that's okay. We'd respect you.
I can relate to that.
We would respect you more if you just embraced the dad bod and stopped calling it 5 different things that it's not.
I pretty much look. Take it from me. I call myself fat a lot, even though I do rock a beer gut. Trust me.
We like self-deprecation.
Yeah.
I'm skinny as hell, so I can't relate to any of this shit. So
I always call him a twig.
I'm petite, so I can't say anything. I have a little bit of an ass, so that's about it. I'm not shaped like a box anymore. That's all I can say.
Hey, look, that's better than nothing.
I'm just like straight line all the way down.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, shit, if you talk about the one name I always call him anytime we do streams, I'll call him a limp noodle.
I'm built like a limp noodle, okay?
Well, limp noodle with bones, but
I'm bony. I'm bony as hell.
Well, besides that, Hook becomes your 3-time FTW champion, so we at least won't have to see Chris Jericho no more on TV. Thank Christ on that.
Hi guys. Yeah, we don't want to see that anymore.
But up next, we had the AEW World Tag Team Title match for the triple threat match. The Young Bucks, the Acclaimed, and FTR. I know. I like I said, I caught bits and pieces of that. But however, though, the Bucks do retain. However, another tag team actually made their appearance. The Grizzled Young Vets. For a lot of WWE fans that don't know about that, that is the Dyad.
Yes.
Even though kind of missed opportunity.
That whole group was a missed opportunity.
Well, at least now I will say, Joe Gacy has a better opportunity this time around.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what.
Oh yeah, too, Rob. You didn't mention it in that match. Brian Keith got put into a Taz mission by Taz.
Yeah, and it looks like a poor man's version of it.
By Taz?
Yeah.
Taz is older, so it makes sense why he hasn't hit the move the same.
Yeah. Because for me, the way I look at it is, remember when he choked out Kurt Angle at the Royal Rumble 2000 in Madison Square Garden. But another title match, or obviously this is a number one contenders match, the AEW Casino Gauntlet match. The featured ROH World Champion Mark Briscoe, Hangman Adam Page, Evil Uno, Kyle O'Reilly, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, which I've seen a lot of hate for Orange Cassidy, which, how the hell do you hate Orange Cassidy? I don't know. Roderick Strong, the AEW Continental Champion, Kazuchika Okada. They had Nigel effing McGee. The fact that this dude was retired for a decade and still looked fucking great. I was like, damn.
He is in tremendous shape for his age, for sure.
Yeah.
Tremendous shape.
But the fact, because the last time I got a chance to see Nigel, God, this was years ago on God, when he was rocking what, blonde hair at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the one time that I got to see Nigel McGuinness was like that one random stint in TNA, which did not work that well for him.
Yeah, for me, I completely forgot about that.
Dude, he had a random stint in TNA, and it was just not good. They booked him poorly. Oh my gosh!
So far up in the show, seeing what the crowd level was it seemed like the crowd was really liking what they were seeing so far, and that was the one thing too. And before we continue with that, was that I don't know what us American fan, because like seems like over there and overseas where like they seem like to bring it a lot, whereas over here I don't get it.
I can give you an answer. There's an obvious reason for that, is because we have wrestling shows more often than they do. So it's like we don't have an incentive to bring it like they do, because we take having those appearances for granted, because it's like, all right, we got another event, cool, whatever. But over there, it's like, oh my God, we got another event. It's very rare, That's the reason why.
And also we actually had two debuts in that match, actually. Not just Nigel McGuinness. We also had Ricochet, which I know has
And I was still holding
Ricochet, my man.
Yep. I was still holding hope. Because they kept showing him on WWE programming as of late that he was working a deal, but no, it was just to spite him, and I don't know why they keep doing that, but whatever. Ricochet is in AEW now, so that's.
But Taz did said on commentary, like saying, "quote I feel like Ricochet is going to fit right in." Yeah,
I mean, it's his style. AEW style is his style, but people were complaining about it, like, it's because it's not going to work well because everybody is wrestling his style there, and you can make a case with that. Like, I would like to see a little like mix match of styles in AEW, not just like this high flying doing
the lucha style, so to speak,
and stuff like that. I'd rather see like ground based wrestling, some catch wrestling as well as that. Like, I felt like TNA, for me, that's where I was expecting Ricochet to go, because they have a mixture of styles.
And plus, too, I mean, he's
going to get worn out.
At the same time, too, Ricochet could also benefit from the X division.
He could have benefited from there, yeah. Which I'm not going to say AEW is not like going to book him well, and he's not going to succeed there, and I hope he does. But I just felt like TNA was the better fit,
was a better option. But then again, I also kind of get why he went over there, because obviously his best friend Will Ospreay is signed to AEW, so that could also play a factor into that. But so yeah, so we had Christian Cage one of the damn thing, and said, "I'm intrigued now, because knowing Christian and how it, and Jesus Christ, as nasty as a heel as he can be, for some reason I don't know, he just now just waiting for the right
Yeah, and if you're talking about like the whole heel thing with Christian, he does go pretty far with it because he always mentions dead fathers.
Yeah, and the fact he low blowed us twice.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and also and the fact that you had to bring up the Phillies game the day after we lost.
Well, Tyler, think of it too. That's not the only wrestler who dissed Phil. Yeah, as we mentioned before, Top Dollar also dissed us for whatever goddamn reason. It's like, what the hell do we do to you?
He goes,
well, then again,
yeah, that's why the Eagles didn't win.
Mean,
but that dude's a bro, so I can't really complain with AJ. Christian though, that shit hurt, bro.
That shit hurt.
So far, I will say this too, though. Despite being on a phone call with Gooley, there was a couple of matches when I looked at this card that I didn't think it was going to be too great. One in particular was the TBS title match because let's be real, that felt robotic as hell.
Honestly, I watched that back, and I feel like that was more on Britt and not on Mercedes. And I'm like, what happened to Britt? Like, did she lose it or something, or was she just never that good? I don't know. People were saying, oh, she's not great, and the general consensus is that she's really not that great. For me, I've seen other matches. She's been very good in matches. I don't know.
Probably just be ring rust. I'm not gonna say ring rust, but I think
she just did not look good in that match. And Mercedes was trying her best to carry.
Yeah. And also, I think another one I kind of felt, I'm not say slightly underwhelming, was the coffin match for the TNT Championship. To me, that is.
Like, for me, it was predictable because you're like, when you think about it, Darby never lost the coffin match. So it's like Darby's a winner. And I should have picked Darby, but I didn't. But because we all thought it was going to be like a plot twist where Darby loses a coffin match, but it didn't happen. So,
and then obviously the main event was the AW World title versus career match. Swerve Strickland and the American Dragon Bryan Danielson.
Cinema.
Yeah.
Cinema. That's all I got to say about it. Cinema. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's the match was great. Bryan won, and people went home happy, and some were in tears. So,
yeah. But I will say, in short, I kind of, I have to go watch this back in its entirety because, like I said, I was at work when this was all going down. So, well, Canary, what did you think? Have you caught up with I don't know have you watched this year's All In?
For AW, no.
No.
Not many of the matches sparked a lot of my interest for me. For me, it's kind of like I have to like the story being told, and most of the stories I don't necessarily really like. I tried very, very hard to get behind them. Like the Tony and Mariah story, 110% behind that. I love it. It's gory, it's dark, it's twisted, it's mother versus daughter, like in a sense. So I love that. Who doesn't think about clapping their mom sometimes?
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that. Unfortunately, at the beginning, the whole Britt and Mercedes story was kind of compelling. It was kind of pulling me, but as it started to go, it started to get very kind of stale for me. It wasn't as, out there. It wasn't as, in your face as I thought it could be, in my own opinion, just because I've seen Britt Blade won so many times that I'm just used to seeing the extreme version of her. So seeing a very downplayed version of her, and then also just getting used to this version of Mercedes Moné has been very different for me. I'm used to her being Sasha Banks. I'm used to the story being written, for her. I'm just used to WWE like Sasha Banks, i.e. Mercedes. So it takes me a little bit, but she's not really doing anything for me right now, unfortunately. I hate
that's
to say
understandable.
it, but she's not doing much for me right now.
And I will say, me and Tara would agree with that because look, for me, I think Mercedes to Mercedes. I always think of Sasha Banks. I think to me, I think she did it a lot better than how WWE used her than what AEW is doing with her now. Because I kind of feel like she's not. I mean, I like the heat's there, but she's not, as you said, it's not out there like in your face kind of. That would spark interest. And yeah, I will tell you, and Tar can attest to this too. Like matches like that. I actually fell asleep. And Tyra could attest to. I fell asleep through one bad match. I was like, shit. I passed out. I was like, man, one match put me to sleep. I was like, Lord.
Her debut into AEW was a hell of a lot more interesting than what I'm seeing from her right now. Let me just 100%. Let me just put it that way. Like, and when I draw a parallel to that her debut into AEW was a hell of a lot more interesting. That's when it kind of clicks for people. They're like, oh, okay. But when I do say that, sometimes it is met with a lot of hostility because her fans are very all or nothing. So you're either all in with her or you're completely against her. So it's like you can't enjoy aspects of her and then have these aspects that you don't really enjoy. And it's like we got to calm down. Let's touch the grass. Make a grass angel. Inhale, exhale, touch it, feel it, water it, become one with it. You got to do all of that. But
100%.
Yeah.
I can't get behind her. She's very boring. It's almost giving Timu Sasha Banks.
It's basically that. Yeah, it's basically
that.
But that's also ties into the whole Liv and Rhea storyline. What I've been seeing on Twitter and the whole Twitter beef going on between the fandoms. I'm like, y'all grow up. It's a storyline. These wrestlers are just doing their job, and y'all over here fighting with each other over a storyline. Like, y'all need to go touch grass.
Exactly.
So,
either way, so obviously, Canary, since you're the first time or so, obviously at the end of every show, we do and obviously, and credit to Key in the building who actually brought this idea. It's called Guess the Wrestler's Team. So obviously now me and Tyler haven't done it the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we do this. And before we get into what I picked out, so give a little, let's see how this goes. Like we pick, from like different eras and whatnot. There's a couple times where I'm going to put you on blast again. So I gave Tyler the last time when we did it was Mr. Kenny's theme song was the intro, first verse.
No. Let me stop you right there. That wasn't the last time we did it, because the last time we did it, you threw a meatball at me by giving.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was fucking Torrent. Yeah, that was
You threw a freaking meatball at me and I hit it. Like, come on.
Oh, what's going on, AJ? But so we so we're going back to 2004 to be exact, and this is going to be part of this person is in the women's division, or I would say, but so
and also before you get it, whoever buzzes in first between me and Canary gets it.
What are we buzzing? Do we just smack the wall, the table? What are we?
I'm smacking my armchair. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So it goes, how many lives to account I can see? Give me an excuse. I will lead you to me. Even your heart for the things agony I might have to chase you. It shall never free.
I'd have to hear the beat of the song. I couldn't tell you off the lyrics alone. I'd have to hear.
Unfortunately,
I'm struggling here too.
The thing is, I mean, I wish we could, because obviously copyright reasons, which is nonsense.
That's true. Copyright issues.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just take a shot in the dark here, and I'm gonna say Eve.
Nope.
Damn.
Tyler,
you're gonna have to read the lyrics for me, because I.
So How many lives to account I can see? Give me excuse, I will lead you to me. Even your heart for the thing's agony. I might have to chase you, it shall never free.
Lita.
No.
Yeah.
I'm thinking dark. I'm thinking like a dark gimmick, and this woman's like maybe like a 7-foot monster of a person because they're
I'd be so
chasing
mad if-
somebody. I have no idea.
China.
Nope.
Good guess, because that's someone I would run from.
Good guess, but that's so far off.
Damn.
Oh yeah, because this is 04. She
Oh
left the company in
shit.
01.
Yeah, it's 04.
2004. Shit.
Child buddy? Nope, you are incorrect.
Is it Nikki James?
Nope.
Victoria?
Nope.
Melina.
Nope. If you get stuck too badly, if you just want to throw in a towel, just
Michelle McCool? Laycool?
nope.
Oh god. Gail Kim?
Son of a bitch. You're
Did I
tired
get
God.
that?
It's International Woman for Gail
Oh
Kim in
my
2004.
That was a fucking wild
7 wrong answers later.
Dude, I was just naming names just to name names.
Dude, Ty was just trying to fire off things like off a shopping list. And for those who are wondering, that
was 2 times in a row where I just freaking named a name and I got it.
That was the last verse in her theme. It says, "How many lives to account I can see?" Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was the last. Because I tried to.
And you said this was 04. This was as she's leaving the company.
Are we just doing
How
one?
did I get that?
If so, I'm very ashamed of myself.
You guys want to do another one?
Can do one more.
Honestly,
Need to try to redeem myself.
Listen, I'm out of this one. I'm gonna have Canary just do this one because.
All right.
My followers and fans are gonna be so disappointed in me.
That was just out of luck, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just so disappointed.
That was just a lucky ass guess by me.
And at least not like E the last time. So.
Yeah,
Hey, Tyler, at least got to give me A for effort.
The Bella twins on that one, Travel Buddy, because that was like way before.
That was way before the Bellas came in.
They didn't come in until like 08, 09.
Okay, let's do this. Actually, no, that's a video game soundtrack. Don't want to do that because I don't think no one's going to really get much of that. So, and yes, for those who are wondering, yes, I look up my themes on genius.com. Let's do. Nope, that's intense. Gonna be a lot of easy ones. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, let's just take a look at this one. Nope. Here we go. Here's another one. Okay, we're still in 2004.
Is it male or female?
It's female.
Okay.
So I've been through all this hell before. I've seen it all and more. If you think I'm going to fade away, you don't know me. You think you have the upper hand? Well, that's not my plan. Now, stronger now, I see the truth.
Lita.
No, incorrect.
Eve.
Nope.
Melina.
Nope.
Well, it wasn't the Bella twins. Trish Stratus?
No.
Damn. Is it Michelle McCool?
Not even close.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a beat type of person. Like if you let me hear the beat, I can tell you.
So, Canary, you throwing in the towel?
Yes.
It is You Just Don't Know Me All for Lillian Garcia from WWE Originals in 2004.
No.
Rob, if you would have started with "I Know You Want Me," she would have got that.
First of all, I'm not going to make a mistake of giving a meatball. So,
This is a travesty. My fans are
and
going to
that,
be so
and for
disappointed
those who are
in me,
wondering, yes,
guys. I'm so sorry.
Hey, look, like I said, winner.
To
It
be
was the
fair to her fans, that first guess was luck. Okay. I didn't even think it was Gail Kim originally. Okay.
Hey, I mean, Tyler, you just shocked to the freaking dark on that one because remember, I gave y'all the last verse of her theme,
I was shooting with my eyes closed. Okay.
and yes, and that was the third verse for Lillian Garcia's. You Just Don't Know Me at All. So
I'm telling you, man, if you just started with "I Know You Want Me," the first verse of her freaking theme, she would have got it, man. I'm telling you.
well, technically, the first line goes, you just don't know me at all. That's how it starts.
Oh, that's a different thing.
Well, he threw me because he said, "You think you know me?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely Lita," because there was a piggyback off Edge. And then he's like, wrong, no. And I'm like, okay, way to kill my hopes and dreams and shoot them all down.
Way to kill her hopes and dreams there, Rob. Good job, Rob.
Way to just throw them up there and then pigeon shoot it. Thank you.
Well, yeah, it's track 10 on WWE Originals that came out January 13th, 2004. Good Lord, I was fucking 7 when that came out. Good God.
I was 6. I wasn't even 6. January of 2004, I was still 5.
Yeah, you were 5. I was about 6. Or soon to be 6. Come in March. Good Lord.
How old are you guys?
I'm 27.
Well, I'm 26.
I was like 4. I'm 26. I was like 4.
Damn.
Like 4 or 5.
And I'm the old man out of this bunch. So
it just depends on like when your birthday is.
98.
No, like the month.
January 98.
January 98, you were 5.
About 5.
4 or 6. No, like 6.
5, 4, or 6. You heard it here first, folks.
You were 6.
There you
were 6.
Yeah.
You were 6. I was in April, so I didn't turn 6 until about April.
But also, too, before we get to the closing, but a shout out to my Aunt Shauna from South Carolina. What is going on through the IG chat as well? So, Tyler, I think you should wrap this off with where you can find Canary.
Go check out the Pretty Undisturbed podcast with Canary. It's a funny little podcast. They talk about pop culture, wrestling, whatever. It's for comedy purposes. So go check that channel out. Have a laugh. Enjoy it. It's a good one. It's a good one. So
episode 3 is out.
What?
Episode 3 is out. So you guys can
episode
watch
3
it.
is out. Episode 3 is out right now. So go check it out.
But other than that, appreciate you guys hanging out. Canary, thank you for coming on.
Of course,
we can't wait to have you down on more episodes because it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And that being said, guys, have a good one.
Peace.